Good morning. I am here this morning with Deborah Stout. She is with Stage to Sell, and as it sounds, she is a staging service for listings. So she's a benefit to realtors and to home sellers. So tell me a little bit about how you started this business.
Well, I have done just about everything there is to do in real estate. I've sold real estate, I've been in property management, I've done short-term housing, and at one point I started flipping houses. And after the last house, my husband said, "No more houses, I'm done, it's over." I said, okay, fine, but we couldn't get this house sold. It was before the current market boom, and we had it staged. And once we staged it, it sold in 10 days for $5,000 more than we were asking with multiple offers. And I said, "That's amazing." And decided at that point that Stage to Sell was what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I began staging at that point.
Yeah. And it sounds so simple when I walk into a staged house and everybody's like, "Oh, is this furniture for sale?" You know, it sounds like it looks beautiful, and then it makes people want to live there.
Right.
And so, but it's a lot of work.
It's more work than you would think. First of all, when they say, "Is this furniture for sale?" I say, "No, it's too hard to come by." But we try to put in pieces that are not overwhelming, but that suit a house to make it look livable. Some buyers don't have the imagination, or it's a little overwhelming when you start to purchase a home, which is your single largest investment in your entire life. So it's not as easy. You would be surprised how many pieces of furniture you need for a house and how many doodads and knickknacks.
Yeah. I tell people, because they are overwhelmed, I tell people just let the room speak to you. Start one room at a time. Because if you just start throwing everything you own on the wall, pretty soon the room doesn't take on the character you want it to. And that's why staging feels, because it's not cluttered and it feels homey, even though they're not even your possessions, you know, or something you might even choose.
Right.
Do you have a warehouse, or how does that work?
We do, actually. I am in this business with one of my younger brothers, and one of our older brothers lives in Penn County and had a huge barn, and we had cement floor put in and put up racks, and so we do have a very large warehouse where we keep an inventory of a certain number of couches, end tables, beds, bedsteads, art, doodads, knickknacks, and so when it's time to stage a house, we look at the house and then we start putting things in our truck. We have a box truck that we bring out full of doodads and knickknacks and all kind of furniture, and then start trying to put it in the house.
I've seen you driving that truck and I'm amazed. The first time I saw you driving it, I thought, whoa, not that we can't drive a truck. I just figured you had someone else driving your truck, and you know.
I actually don't mind. I've said, if I knew then what I know now, box truck would be my first car, because it's such a great asset to have. I can move things, I can do things, I can go buy whatever I want to and go pick it up in my truck. So
Right.
I have actually enjoyed that part of it.
Yeah, I can tell. And that makes sense. That makes sense. So, you told us about the story about how, you know, you brought more money in a quicker time with staging. What are some other stories? Do you have any other stories that, I mean, I have one from where you staged a property that one of my buyers bought. Can I tell that real quick?
Certainly.
I'm sorry, I was asking a question, I interrupt myself. But they walked in and the house, it just spoke to them. And they kept saying, "Does it come with all of these decorations and furniture? Because this is exactly us." And even though the house had faults of its own, you know how older houses, they're never perfect. Because of the staging, I feel like they were able to look past any faults the house had and say, this house speaks to us. But if the house had been empty, all they would have seen were, oh, you know, this isn't quite the way we wanted it, or this would be, you know, they would have only seen the faults.
Well, the thing about the staging is, and I know which house you're talking about, and that house had some imperfections.
It did, yeah.
But we weren't trying to hide anything.
Right.
We were just trying to enhance what was there.
Right.
And I think the people have been very happy.
They love it.
At that house. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was a great location. It was a great house. It just was retrofit. It had been remodeled and it had some things that just didn't look perfect. And so we weren't trying to hide anything, but I'm going to tell you about staging. We've talked about this. Staged homes, according to the National Association of Realtor surveys, sell faster and for up to 10% more money. So you take the cost of the staging and then you add 10% onto the house, it more than covers it. Mm-hmm. The other thing is, a lot of people watch home HGTV and Chip and Joanna,
I know, right?
And they expect houses that are listed to be staged because it has become so prevalent. So sometimes an empty house says things to people like, who's paying double mortgage on this house? Because we know these people are living someplace else.
Right.
Or it's vacant and they've already moved. They might be a little more desperate. Whereas a staged house looks like someone lives there.
Yeah, I know sometimes we walk through, my buyers and I will walk through and they'll say, do they live here? You know, I'm like, I don't know. You know, and of course they look in the closet. Oh, there's some clothes, but it's not enough clothes. They just left some clothes in the closet, right? But it is it's not, I don't want to use the word deceiving. It's just that it feels homey.
That's right.
And so it's like, whoa, I can't tell if they live here or not.
And a well-staged house, you won't be able to tell until you walk into secondary bedrooms, which we don't stage.
Right.
We do
Right.
the main bedroom, the main living areas, all of the dining areas, all of the bathrooms, all of the living areas. And so they will, sometimes you won't know until you hit the master closet and there are no clothes there,
Right.
or you hit an empty bedroom, but sometimes it does look like people live there.
Yeah. Even sometimes they'll leave some cans in the pantry or a few things in the fridge like water or something. And then I'll be like, no, I don't think they live here unless they eat out all the time.
Yeah.
But it's a completely different feeling to walk into a home that's staged.
Yes.
And plus imagination, some people aren't good at that perspective. Like they could walk in this room we're in, which you can't see on the camera, but it's an odd shaped room. And they would say, I don't know what to do with that corner. Or, you know, I don't know what to do with the windows right there. You know, they can't imagine. They can only think of where they live now and what their furniture does now.
Right.
So it does really.
Well, and that's how it helps. That's exactly how it helps.
In this particular house, there's a bedroom with a beautiful view of a pond. And I love it how when you walk in, you see, when I wake up in the morning, actually no matter where the bed is in the room, you'll be able to see the pond.
Right.
And, you know, that's great because without the bed, it looks like just a big empty room.
Right.
With a big window.
When we staged that bedroom, I was torn about which direction to put the bed because I normally like for someone to come into a room and see the furniture and see the art. I want it to evoke an emotion with them. But on this one, I chose to put the bed where you don't see it until you're in the entire room because I want them to see that when I lift my head in the morning, I'm going to see that little green pasture and that beautiful pond and all those trees.
Yeah. What is your favorite thing about staging? I know a lot of it's work and stuff like that, but what's your favorite thing?
Well, is a lot of work, and I do have, even though I drive the truck, I do have people so that I'm not having to lift and move all the furniture. But my favorite thing is the end product, but it's also the people that I get to work with. There are amazing realtors in all of the areas that we service, and it's just been a pleasure. I don't do this for the money. I charge, but I don't do it for the money. I do it because I need something that's fun and fulfilling for me to do.
Yeah.
And that's even why we do pay at closing, so that people don't have to be out of pocket, which is an important thing when it comes down to selling a house, because if you've remodeled a house, you've gone over budget, and it's
those expenses add up.
Yeah, and so we do the pay at closing. People are always very appreciative of that, and I love it when I see that one of the houses that we have staged has sold.
I know I appreciate you, and other realtors appreciate you, and staging has become an important part. I don't do it with every home. Some people are amazing at staging themselves.
Right.
Well, some people, and this is where I'm headed, some people, they have a lot of things, but there's so many things. Do you ever provide a service where you go in and kind of give them suggestions what to take out or move?
And we will do that for the realtors we work with. We'll do a free consultation where we will go to a home that you're looking at listing, and I don't have any problem saying, clean off your light switches. And when it comes to staging, one of our most important things is clean, clean, clean. When you're getting ready to stage your own house, that's one of the things the best things you can do is clean, clean, clean. Then I will go in and tell them, get 5 boxes and let's go to each room, and I'll tell you what to put in your box.
Oh, that's neat.
Because you don't need all of the things that you think you need in there.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and for a room to really highlight the room, I usually tell people, I know it's hard, but take your personal pictures off the wall.
Right.
Because I've taken buyers in homes with beautiful wedding pictures or children's pictures. They spend more time looking at the pictures than they did the home.
That's right. Well, and there's a psychological thing to that. These are pictures of someone else. Do I fit here? And I'm taking somebody else's place.
Right.
And it's like you said, I was a realtor a number of years ago, and I would show houses to people and they would say, I don't like that dining room set. And I'd say, good, because it doesn't go with the house. So that's why we try to do things that are neutral enough, but evoke some emotion about a house, and but not too much emotion. Too much emotion is when they do see all of the baby pictures and the family pictures and the mama pictures.
Yeah, I get the question, why are they selling? What happened? Are they getting a divorce? Did they get transferred? Did someone die? You know, and I'm like, I don't know. I do not know.
Yeah.
But that's what the pictures bring forth. They have all those questions. They want to know the story.
That's right.
You know. Well, I really appreciate that you took the time to do this video with me. We can do more in the future.
I would look forward to that.
Okay.
I think this is a great thing, and I'm glad you can do it.
Yeah. And I'm excited to see pictures that you post on your platform. And yeah, thank you so much.
No problem. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.